Welcome back to another episode of the Bonsai Blacksmith. Today we have another Chloroleucon Dumosum, which is a Brazilian rain tree variant. There's at least 4 variants. I'm going to not prune anything on top today, but I'm going to explore the root ball, explore the nabari, and see what we have for a root system and get it repotted. Let's go. Just to give you a better 360 of the tree before I strip the root ball. This is how the tree arrived. I purchased this from a person that was moving and didn't have the space for this tree anymore, so I decided to give it a new home. So, I'm going to go ahead and start breaking up the root ball here, gently. I don't think this is a good loose substrate, so I probably don't need this aggressive of a root hook for this, but I'm going to use it regardless. Go ahead and use the other tool here to strip the roots. This is much better. It's okay, it's a slow process, but that's important to go slow because we don't want to hurt the fine roots until we know what we're working with. Although some of this root ball is going to have to be assessed a little bit better. Got a small, there we go, it's working. Slowly but surely I'll get the root ball fixed. Cleaned. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. There's a large group of people walking by right now. But we're getting this stripped out nicely. Almost. So, as you can see here, this substrate's holding on pretty nice. So I'm going to aggressively hit some of these larger sections where I know there's no big roots. Try to break up that clump. You can see on the bottom, I don't know if you can see on the bottom actually. You tilt the tree so you can see the bottom is all bound here. So I'm going to have my work cut out for me. Try to break up these loose roots. Alright. It rained pretty heavy last night, so this is a very moist root ball. Which is actually not as easy to get it clean because of that. I changed the angle so you guys can better appreciate the what I'm doing for root work. Gonna have to find my toothbrush, and the winds here took all some of the tools I leave outside away. Luckily the iron tool stayed. So keep exploring this nabari. I'm getting there. I think this tool here is the best way forward right now still to rake out these roots. It's a bit of a process. I might even consider speeding this up maybe. Although I have all the tools I need to do this properly, so I could probably be a little bit more, slightly more aggressive and speed it up myself physically. There we go. Getting under those roots, raking them out. Yeah, this is working. This is working all right. Don't be too hard. Don't rip them. Don't rip the roots when you find resistance, you know. But certainly pull if it lets you move in there. I can even stab it a little bit. If there's a root ball, there's some clump of dirt in there I need to break up. This is a pretty big root over here. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see. Although we need to protect the fine roots, I think we have plenty though. Looking from judging from what it looked like from the bottom, there is plenty of that. We're getting there. Let's see what that looks like. Still a bit of a process. Still have some more to go here. So I decided to wash the roots. You can see what we got here, all cleaned. So plenty of fine roots to work with. Let's get started with that. So I'm just going to rake out these roots a little bit. See how radial they truly are. They're pretty radial. I can't really lie, but you can see these Look at some really big roots here. I need to work on that. I might reposition the tree, repot the tree. Like, let's go ahead and take a look at this. See, we got a root coming on over here, which I really don't like. I'll probably go ahead and take that off now. It's a big root. Kind of goes back on itself. That just comes right off. That's fine. Yeah, this big root nodule needs to go because it's covering that big, it's choking that really big, beautiful root here. I want to go ahead and clean that up the best as I can. Get the roots that are going over that. Any roots that go over you want to, or up, you want to get rid of. All right. Keep breaking these out a little bit more. There's still some residual gravel and dirt in there, but not much. Not much. I don't want to be too aggressive. We're still losing a few clumps of fine roots, but that's going to be normal in this process. There's plenty of fine roots though, but you see this is our weakest point, so I'm probably going to tilt the tree so this root here is more exposed. I think that's my battle plan here. That's an easy pull. Yeah. Don't usually like using the nice snips for gravel-laden roots, but it's alright. Cut these lower, nice and flat. It's these ones that are sticking up. There's some nodules here. I don't know if you can see that, but there's some nodules here. So there's nodules all over these roots, actually. So this has got a symbiotic relationship. It's self-feeding, which is a beautiful thing to see. All right, so I think I need to look at these roots one more time just to see what needs to stay, what needs to go. Anything pointing up needs to go. I'm going to keep every nodule I see intact for now. This is a self-fertilizing function of the of this particular species of tree. This big root doesn't need to stay here anymore. Get rid of that one. That one. That's got nodules on it. Let's see here. Yeah, that one's a little old and hardened. Level that out. Since I'm going to be focusing on this side of the tree, I'm going to probably trim this side a little harder. It's a big piece right there. Let's see here. There we go. And that's the sound of my neighbor's dog that can't jump up on the bed and then cries like a screaming infant until it gets its way and picked up and put on the bed. And dogs are very much a unique personality in each one of them. So that's the root I want to grow. I'm again trying to plant it like that. So I am trying to get rid of some of these. I like how these pop up like that. Those are pretty cool. So is that. I like to raise that up a little bit. So yeah, and again, trimming the roots ramifies them. So doing this is a very important step. Very important step indeed. All right, let's go ahead and change this out. So I pre-moistened the soil. I'm gonna just set this here and see what we got to work with. Looks like it's still a little bit big for its container, for its pot, which is unfortunate. I have to make a pot for this one as well, so this is gonna be a temporary, like 6 months max. So what I'm gonna do is get some of these guys that are still in the periphery. I'm gonna set that aside. Get some of these roots that are still a little bit troublesome. Trim them back a little bit more. I hate to get rid of these nodes, but get into this pot, it's something I have to do. Alright. Almost, quasi. So, bring this back. Here's the root I want to accentuate. So setting it in here like this is something what I want to do. Which will help the tree. I'll reposition the tree after a year so it doesn't grow on a diagonal. So that's basically my goal. So what I'm going to do is get some more soil here and put it on this side. Build up that side a little bit more. I've already pre-moistened that, so I just want to see if that works. I think that is going to work. I'm going to cut these roots here off. Go ahead and moisten that base down. Moisten these roots again one more time for good measure. Alright. Again, this is the root I wanted to really highlight. I don't want to bury that. Let's see what I have to remove for roots here. This one's facing up. Get rid of that. Anything going to face up, we get rid of. Okay, let's do it quick. Anything facing up goes away. Anything hanging over the edge goes away. That's fine, that's fine. That. Alright, so settle that in there like so. Now I'm gonna actually add more soil to this because it's really low in the back. Try not to spill it everywhere either. That's an important trick. Gonna want it higher on this side, lower on this side. Higher, lower. So a little bit more of this. This was just too low in the pot for me to say yes for the way it was seated. Let's test this out real quick. That's better. Let's go ahead and moisten this down. Like so. Push this in like so. I think temporarily this is going to work because I'm just going to fill this in with substrate around it. I know this seems a bit high. It might be a little high. Let me look. Maybe. I'm gonna go with it and see how it works. How it works out. I'm gonna take this root out of here. Anything else I see sticking up? We're looking pretty good on the sticking up front. All right, so I got a little bit of substrate here I can use. I'm gonna put that in there. Hopefully I got enough. I could use some of that volcanic substrate from before, which is also acceptable. I'm recycling this, as you can tell, from this pink basket. It got rained on last night, so the substrate wants to stick together, and we're gonna have one hell of a mess. All right. Good thing I got my my nifty towel here to help keep things orderly. There we go. That's a little bit better. So, when put this substrate where I want it. Expose these roots wherever I can. This Nabari. This is where I trim that. This is where I trim that one root. Give you a close up. So here's a close up on the roots I'm working on right now. So need more substrate for sure. Get this poked in between where I can. We don't know air gaps in the roots. This tree should be wired down, but since I'm only going to have it, I'm only going to have this in this pot for a few months. I'm not going to go too crazy. It's going to be under cover of a roof as well, so we should be all right in that front. There we go. Some more substrate. Get that tucked in. There we go. You can definitely tell it's Saturday for sure. Saturday by the beach. Get that. Now the root I wanted to highlight is this one. That's the one. That's where all the hubbub's about. I wanted this one to be exposed more to help give it more balance in the Nabari. That was my plan. Still is my plan. See what I mean? Right here. That was basically the whole reason why I changed the angle of the tree. I had to repot it because it was time for a root pruning. She was root bound. Get this all tucked in best I can. We got some more spaces here that need to get filled in, like so. we go. Can't tell you where the wind took my toothbrush, unfortunately. So I'm just going to have to clean this by hand the old-fashioned way. There we go. So, I'm going to keep looking for that toothbrush, though. I haven't lost hope, but it's certainly somewhere in the yard. I use this spoon here to help pack down the substrate. I do have a root that's coming up I got to take care of. There we go. Got another root here. One snuck away. It was close to the trunk, that's why I didn't see it. Alright, got that pulled out. A little bit more of this substrate needed. I got just enough. Amazing. Just enough. There we go. Nothing like wet clay to stick to your hands. Wet broken clay. Broken, dry, cooked clay. But it's good substrate. It does allow that water to pass. A little bit more needed here on the edges. And I think get that cleaned out. Get that one cleaned out. Yeah, I think we have it, folks. I think we have this all potted up. I'm going to give it some root hormone to help get this tree growing more roots as fast as possible, as soon as possible. Here's a quick look at the tree all finished up. Alright, so we have it all planted up. I left the wiring that the previous owner had put on here just to finish their idea with these 3 separate branches, 4 branches I should say. I have readjusted the tree into the pot, so this less visible root could have exposure and grow. I am going to probably have to add more substrate as I water through the week as it settles, because I didn't leave much room there. Again, this is a temporary pot for this tree, and consider liking and subscribing if you want to see how this and other rain trees and dumosums are progressing. I'll keep updating them every few weeks, and thanks again for joining me on another episode of Bonsai Blacksmith. Until next time.